So's. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Just checking to make sure I turned on my mic, because that seems like something I would do, is just start the show with the mic completely off. That's how I roll. How's everybody doing today? I see some people in the chat. Is this a better time for y'all? It seems like more people are here at 7:30 than they were when I was doing it at 4:30 for 3 years. Not 3 whole years, like 2.5. Let me know in the chat if you like this time slot better. I just realized that sometimes I'm doing things on Sundays and I have to cut what I'm doing short in order to get back, somewhere where I could do the show at 4:30. So let me know if 7:30 is better. I think it's better. That's just me. Maybe even 8 o'clock, but 8 o'clock, then sometimes I go late if I have a really big story to cover. I don't want to go past 10 ever. So anyway, we're at 7:30 for right now. We'll do it for a few weeks, see how people like it. We can switch it around. Welcome, everybody. I'm only going to cover, this is a Crimeland episode, and usually on Crimeland, I cover many cases, many news stories that people send me. But today is a little bit different. I'm only going to cover 2 stories, one of them out of Florida, and one of them, the main part of the show is the thing that happened in Texas this week that really tore at my heartstrings. I watched some interviews with the family today that I was just weeping during. The kids' parents. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We're going to cover Florida first, though. I wanted to also let you know that I have extra dogs here today. So if you do decide that you want to support the show in any way, we will give the dogs the mini milk bones on camera. We have, I don't know if you can see Luke up there on the pillows, little Jack Russell up on the pillows there. Of course, we have the star of the show. We know you're not here to see me. You're here to see Xena. She's here as always. Ava is also here. And we have Leia. Oh, I can't get it. Okay. There's Leia. Leia's a boxer. She's here as well. But yeah, so all the pups are here too. Guess we'll just jump right into it. So out of Florida this week, there was an officer-involved shooting that I wanted to talk about because one of my subscribers and supporters of the show lives in this area, and it's just horrible, especially when stuff like this happens where you're at. And so let's get into this. This is in Walton County, Florida. A deputy killed an officer-involved shooting. The suspect is also dead. So the officer got the guy too, which is great news. He's not just going to soak up the resources from a prison somewhere, right? It drives me nuts. People like this, just it takes years and years and years for the death penalty to actually happen, and they're just soaking up resources. So luckily, this officer deputy got the guy as well.
Will May managed to shoot a gun. 38-year-old deputy Will May managed to shoot and kill the gunman. That suspect of the shooting was pronounced dead at the scene. Our Haley Samples was at the sheriff's press conference tonight. We're trying to make contact with her right now. Haley, are you with me? There you are. Haley, I know you were at the press conference and just an emotional night all the way around.
Yeah, that's right, Bob.
This is near Pensacola, by the way. Here, I'll show you on the map. I got a map open over here. It happened at this Dollar General market. And it looks like it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Can you guys hear Leia? She's upset because there's not room up on the bed for her. You can get up there. They'll move, Leia. They'll move. Look at this face. Look at that face. Can you see her? She's very sad she's not up on the bed. Sorry, I got distracted. So it was at this DG Market, which is Dollar General Market, and it looks like it's out kind of in the country. And like, you know, there's lots of fields and stuff around it, right off of the I-10. And as you can see, Pensacola is right over here. I spent a lot of time in Pensacola in my past life, my past job that I had because I managed properties that were businesses like supermarkets, stuff like that. And two of them I had in the Pensacola area. One of them was Tiger Point, and the other one was in Cordova. So I spent a lot of time there. But so just so you can kind of get the idea, the area of the country that we're in. We're just in the panhandle of Florida.
Very emotional moment here tonight, and the Deputy May was not even scheduled to work today. The sheriff himself fighting back tears as he described the moments that led up to the incident. Now, Deputy May responded to the scene just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. Officials say May made the stop on his way home. Now, this was his last call for the day as he was working overtime to give assistance to the department. Officials say May approached the suspect and had a brief conversation, asking the suspect to leave the store. In just a matter of seconds after exiting the building, the suspect fired multiple rounds at Deputy May. Now, May fired back and the suspect died on the scene. Officials say May was wearing a bulletproof vest, which protected him from many of the shots fired. But just one of those bullets slid beneath the vest, striking May. Now, he was transported to North Okaloosa Medical Center and spent 4 hours in surgery. He died from the gunshot wound just after 7 o'clock tonight.
I am struggling on behalf of this organization to make sense of this, because I can tell you there is absolutely nothing tactically wrong that Deputy May did. I've been in this business 32 years. There is nothing I would have done differently. There was no indication whatsoever that this would have ended in that kind of violence.
Walton County Sheriff Michael Atkinson says today's disturbance would not have ended up in an arrest. Officials have not released the name of the suspect. And earlier, we reported a portion of Highway 90 was shut down near the scene on Lancelot Road. Officials say all roadways are back open. And the sheriff says Deputy May was a husband and a father of 2 teenagers. May is also a second-generation member of the department. His father was an assistant fire chief, and his mother was a former dispatcher. May joined the department in 2014 and later became a deputy in 2019. The sheriff says the main thing right now is to honor his service and his sacrifice. Live in Walton County, I'm Haley Samples, WEAR News.
How tragic is that? This person wouldn't have, it was a shoplifting thing. It would have been nothing. And now 2 people are dead. That's crazy.
Haley, thank you. Deputy May's body was taken to Sacred Heart Hospital in Pensacola tonight. This was the scene on Interstate 10 a short time ago. A long line of law enforcement vehicles. We didn't get confirmation, but we strongly believe this is the deputies accompanying Deputy May on the drive from Walton County tonight. And based on information on the Officer Down Memorial page website, May is the 4th member of the Walton County Sheriff's Office to die in the line of duty, and the first since Sheriff Robert Gatlin was gunned down in 1942.
The South End.
That's just a tragic story. Out of Pensacola area, or just east of Pensacola.
The body of a Walton County deputy killed in the line of duty yesterday has returned home to Defuniak Springs. An honor guard escorted William May's body from a Pensacola hospital to the funeral home that will handle the burial.
News 13's Maggie McGuigan was in Walton County this evening when the processional arrived in Defuniak Springs. She joins us now live in the studios. Maggie, it appeared like there were hundreds of people all along that processional route.
Not only were there hundreds of community members there in support, there were hundreds of law enforcement officials from neighboring counties that took part in the procession. Those who knew May said the community showing for the event in his honor was a testament to who he was.
The death of Walton County Deputy William May is being felt by communities across the Panhandle. May was killed in the line of duty following a shooting on Wednesday. Hundreds came out in support of the fallen hero as his body returned home on Thursday evening. Law enforcement from various local agencies joined in on an honor procession. Dozens of patrol cars, ambulances, and a helicopter traveled from Ascension Sacred Heart, Pensacola to Clary Glen Funeral Home in Defuniak Springs.
This is a small community. North Walton County is a small community, and we pretty much know each other. And Mossy Head is not where you expect something like this to happen. It's hard to believe that something like this could happen over in our community.
It's a tragedy that hasn't struck Walton County in over 70 years. Neighboring communities are now rallying in support.
When something tragic happens, people want to show their appreciation. People want to show that, we understand what you just did. We understand the sacrifice that this hero just provided to their community. And I think that's really the key, to say, hey, we understand what you did. We acknowledge what you did. And we're gonna take it from here.
Officials say the turnout from the community reflected who May was.
I think it's a testament to who he was, who his family is, and how much our community appreciates law enforcement. This is a community that backs its law enforcement.
Deputy May's patrol car is parked in front of the sheriff's office as a memorial for the community to pay their respects.
May leaves behind his wife and 2 kids. The suspect, 58-year-old Timothy Jarvinen of Defuniak Springs, he died on the scene yesterday.
Maggie, these type of tragedies really do hit law enforcement hard.
Yes, they do. And the Walton County community was joined by sheriffs from Santa Rosa, Escambia, and Okaloosa counties. Police personnel from Pensacola, Fort Walton Beach, and Defuniak Springs were there as well.
We'll continue to follow the story. Thank you, Maggie. Maggie McGuigan.
They do hit law enforcement hard. That is true. But I think really they hit the whole community hard, right? If you were a resident in this small community, I imagine it would hit you hard as well. I know we've had officers here in similar situations, and it really makes you stop and think about the danger that these people are putting their lives on the line. And most officers, not all, obviously there's bad officers. We cover them here too. But I think a lot of them, probably most of them, decide to become police officers because they want to help people, and they sign up for that job, and then something tragic like this happens. He's got a family, So this is the story that I wanted to this is going to be most of the show today. This is a student was stabbed to death at a track meet for it's so like, the reason I want to cover this is because it's so silly. And there's a kid dead. And when you hear the story, it just seems so ridiculous that anyone is dead in this situation. There's a track meet going on, of course. If you've ever been to a track meet or a swim meet or something like that, there's a lot of downtime. I was on swim team. I was never on the track team. I did cross country for like a year. Running's not for me. But I was on the swim team, and it's very similar to where at a track meet, where when it's not your event, there's a lot of sitting and waiting for your events to come up. It started raining. The schools had tents out for their students. It was an outdoor event. And there was a kid in the tent of a different school. And one of the athletes from the school whose tent it was asked him to leave. There was some sort of altercation that followed, and the kid that was in the wrong place, in the wrong tent, ended up stabbing this kid to death. And not only that, he has a twin brother who was also on the track team. They did sports together. They played football together at the school as well. Ended up, his twin brother died in his arms, which is just like heart-wrenching to me. When you hear in a little bit, I have some interviews that I've pulled up from his family, and it's just I'm sorry, this is going to be a total downer of a show, but it's just heartbreaking. Let's see what happened.
7:43 is the time, and welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Jeanne Francine. Turning to a developing story this Friday, as thousands of people have donated to an online fund supporting a family whose son was stabbed to death at a Frisco ISD track meet. It's one of the ways people are coping with the death of Austin Metcalf. Right now, we want to check in with Fox 4's Ticia Muzinga, joining us live this morning with a message from the family. Good morning to you. Alarming news. We continue to get updates this morning.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Good morning. Yeah, we are hoping to hear more information and get more information about what led up to the fatal stabbing of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf from court documents later this morning. But the family of Austin Metcalf, the 17-year-old, they have been just sharing stories about what kind of a man he was and details about the final moments while he was here. But police are saying that 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, who attends Centennial High School, stabbed Metcalf in the chest after a fight at Kirkendall Stadium Wednesday morning. The family says they believe the fight started over a seating issue in the stands at a track meet. Hunter Metcalf, the victim's twin brother, told Fox News he did everything he could to save his brother's life.
Yeah, I pushed my hand up there, trying to make it stop, and I grabbed his head and I looked in his eyes. I just saw his soul leave, and it took my soul too.
I'm so sorry.
Well, police are investigating how a knife got into the stadium. Anthony is in the Collin County Jail and is charged with murder, and his bond is set at $1 million. Frisco ISD, however, is rescheduling that track meet where all of that happened. They're planning to have it next Monday at a different school, Little Elm High School. Back to you.
Ticia Muzinga with Fox 4 Dallas, thank you so much for that detailed breakdown. A lot of eyes on this story. Tragic news we continue to follow. Thank you so much.
Crazy story, right? That's what I thought when I first saw it anyway. Like, first of all, I could see how, like, I assume at a track meet, they're not checking bags that carefully. Depending on what kind of area it is, there's probably not metal detectors. There will be now, I guarantee it, right? This is why there's going to be metal detectors. Well, we have, before we go to the next article, thank you so much for gifting a membership, a News Now enemy. I appreciate that very much. One gifted membership gets one mini milk bone for each one of these dogs. Let's see if we can get this done. There's this one. Luke, can you catch Luke? We'll see if Luke gets that. And there's this one. Yep. And I hear Luke munching on his behind Zena's head too. Thank you so much. And I think I saw, yes, Erica, member for 17 months. That's crazy. Time flies, Erica. Thank you so much for renewing your membership. There's Luke, Ava, and Leia. There she is. I kind of wish they would all move over and let Leia up on the bed so I didn't have to mess with the camera, but that's probably not going to happen. You know that this one right here is kind of a terrorist, so that's probably not going to happen. Oh, man.
FAA has obtained new court documents revealing how Austin Metcalf was stabbed to death at a track meet in Frisco. Police say another...
I forgot what I wanted to say about that first story. They did say that there was a fundraiser set up for the student who was killed. There was also a fundraiser set up for the student that did the killing. But I just checked because I wanted to give you an accurate update of how much that was raised to. I think when I saw it earlier, it was like something crazy. Like, let me look because somebody tagged me in it. It was something. Here we go. It was at, I swear I just had it. It was at $73,000, the one for Carmelo, which is the student that killed, that did the stabbing. It was at $73,000 6 hours ago. But I just went to check because I wanted to give you an update, and there was two of them on GoFundMe. They're both gone. So I don't know if GoFundMe took them down or what, but it was for like a legal defense fund or something like that.
Teenager had fresh blood on his finger when they found him at Kirkendall Stadium.
The affidavit shows that when officers arrived, Carmelo Anthony told them he got into an argument with Metcalf, and when the arresting officer said he had the alleged suspect in custody, Anthony replied, "I'm not alleged, I did it."
But Anthony told officers he only acted in self-defense and asked them if Metcalf was okay.
Several witnesses paint a different picture, and Metcalf's father told Matt Howerton he is not buying the excuse.
I had a dream last night, and Austin came to me and said, "I'm okay." It gives me peace. Doesn't mean I don't hurt.
The last 24 hours, unimaginable for Austin Metcalf's father, his mother, his twin brother.
Right now, I'm really numb, and I really don't feel anything. I just have to function.
Metcalf, just 17 when he arrived at Frisco ISD's district track meet Wednesday. His final breaths taken before 11 a.m., police say, after being stabbed to death by a fellow Frisco ISD student, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, now charged with first-degree murder.
My world's a little shattered.
An argument over where Anthony was sitting while the meet experienced a rain delay sparked a confrontation between the teen and Metcalf. According to arrest paperwork, Anthony sitting underneath Metcalf's team tent. You could see it from the air when we flew over the crime scene. Metcalf from Memorial High, Anthony from Centennial. A witness telling police Metcalf...
Like, I just want to point out, sorry, it's pollen season here in Georgia. I'm very sneezy. But when I first heard the story, I was thinking to myself that these were just generic tents, that they all looked the same and each school had their own. This is very obviously brought by the school because they're not the same, like this other school that's next to it, the Liberty Redhawks. It's like two little tents. The Warriors one is one giant tent, but they're quite obviously the school's tent, right? That it's you're not mistaken. You didn't walk underneath the wrong tent thinking it was your school's, or it's very clear which tent is which when you actually see what the layout was.
I've told Anthony to move from under the team's tent because he didn't go to their school. The witness telling police Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, and reached inside and proceeded to tell Austin, "Touch me and see what happens." Investigators writing that Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move and that Anthony pulled out a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest and then ran away. When officers arrived, the knife was found and police say Anthony admitted to what happened, but said this to police: "He put his hands on me. I was protecting myself," even asking another officer if what happened could be considered self-defense.
What do you expect? If you're caught, the best thing you're going to do is try to lie your way out of it.
Metcalf's father telling me self-defense is not a reasonable excuse.
The truth will come out. There were too many people that were there that saw what happened. My own son told me.
In Frisco, I'm Matt Howerton.
That dad sounded pissed, right? Okay. Fair warning, get your tissue ready for this one. I watched this earlier today, so I can try to get through it right now without ugly crying with snot coming out of my face. This is his mom, and there's one point in this video that I'm about to show you that broke me, and it's when the news reporter asks the mom about the age of the twins, and she says they're going to be 18 in July, I think it was. They're about to turn 18, and the look on her face when she realized that only one of them, just watch it and get your tissue ready for real.
Just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
Just tell me about what happened today.
I don't know. I got a phone call from Hunter. He was screaming that Austin had been stabbed. I was at work, and so I drove. I work in Grapevine, so I drove up to the hospital straight away. I actually beat the ambulance there. Yeah, I saw them have him come out. He was on a lot of machines, and it didn't take long for them to come in to say that he had passed. So, not sure, senseless act of a boy that was in the wrong tent, and my son doing the right thing by telling that boy that he needed to be removed from where he was, and just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
Tell me about Austin. What do you want people to know about your boy?
He was the most amazing kid. Oh, so smart. He had college football guys looking at him to play in college. His goal was to play in college. He just wanted to play football. His life was going to the gym and working out and being a leader on his football team. And he just had such ambitions and a drive that it's hard to find in a kid. And he's just such a good spirit. And so many kids loved him. And his brother's lost his best friend.
They're twins, right?
Yeah, identical twins. Yeah.
They've been like...
They are the best of friends. Like, just... I'm so worried about my son because he's going to have to face this world alone now because he had a brother that was with him the whole time, and now he's going to have to do it alone, and I'm just so worried about him. I really am.
Was Hunter with Austin Toby?
He was. They made him go away when they were doing CPR on him, but he was there when he was stabbed, and he was holding, I guess, the wound to keep it from... He was trying to save his brother. But I think he said he saw when he took his last breath and before the CPR came back in. So for what I heard, he was unresponsive for 5 minutes. They were able to revive him a little, but I think it was too little too late.
What can the community do for your family?
They need to support the kids at the school. Austin was loved by so many people. They need to know that there's other people out there for them and not against them, you know? And Frisco Memorial has got a football program it's in a process, and we want everybody to know that it's a family and they're there together. So, but just to put your arms wrap around the support. This is Hunter. Did you want to talk to him?
Oh, man.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
He's a good kid. We just got a little altercation, and that's really it. But he has a good heart. Everyone knows. Everyone around here knows he's a great kid. He just want.
I want to point out something before we get to what Hunter has to say that I noticed when I watched this earlier today. The story coming out from the defendant in this case, the alleged, you have to say because he's not convicted yet, but there's like 100 witnesses, and he admitted it, stabber in this case. He says that it was in self-defense. And what struck me, and I hadn't seen this family until today, what struck me is the twin brothers, what's the word I'm looking for? His demeanor, his yes ma'ams and no ma'ams to the reporter, just his whole aura about this kid whose twin brother, by the way, is the one that was stabbed. So I assume that they were similar, raised the same, right? I just can't imagine that Austin started the fight. I just cannot imagine that. Just judging from the way his twin brother is interacting with people. And don't get me wrong, they're athletes, they're young men, you know, they're not going to back down from a fight, right? It just seems to me that from what the brother describes is that his brother was the peacemaker in the friend group. He was the one that was always trying to make sure that there weren't fights happening, that he was just, you know, he was trying to de-escalate when this happened.
One mistake from that dude, and just took my brother. He didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that. I know people that lose their family members all the time, but I just didn't know it was gonna be mine so soon. my best friend and my brother my whole life, but if y'all could just like, not y'all, sorry. Just like, thank y'all for just comforting us, and like the Frisco area has been comforting my family and me, and I just really appreciate everything that everyone's done. It's a really hard loss, but we're gonna get through it with my family, so we'll just stay together. I mean, our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, like between two human beings. I mean, we did everything together, clean the dishes together, do the yard work together, sports, you name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So you're always just basically one person.
Were you guys just a few minutes apart?
4 minutes.
Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically your bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. There's a lot of big brother stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what. So it's just really heartbreaking to see someone that cares for you that much and does everything even by your side no matter what, just pass away like that.
Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw. And I tried to help him, but
it was just senseless.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that like that. Didn't.
I think Johnny Walker Dread's comment here is correct. This is going to be much like the Kyle Rittenhouse case, with politics becoming more important than the facts. I kind of agree with that. Johnny Walker Dread has covered the Kyle Rittenhouse case on his channel extensively, by the way, if you're interested in that. He just interviewed Dominic Black, who, of course, was Kyle Rittenhouse's friend that he purchased the AR-15. Like, that's where it came from, was that kid. It technically was his until Kyle turned 18. It was a great interview, by the way. I highly suggest, if nothing else, subscribing to his channel and watching that interview. But yeah, it seems to me it's already, just judging from the social media posts that I've seen about this case, I think that is absolutely correct, where this is going to become political, and it shouldn't be. This family is grieving, which is what I'm trying to show you guys here. I want you to I think people who are tweeting about this and just, they're not thinking about these people who lost their son at all. And the young man who did the stabbing, his family as well, they're going to lose their son as well. I don't feel bad for him, but I do feel bad for his family. They didn't do anything. Well, I mean, I don't know how he was raised. I shouldn't say they didn't do anything. Who knows? But they're not expecting to lose their son to go to prison for the rest of his life either, I imagine.
That man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid. Real strong. And I know I'm strong too, but he's a little stronger. But he did a lot for our family and a bunch of stuff that we just don't recognize. And it's just like, especially throughout our friends too, like everyone knew, like he was the peacemaker. That's what I'm saying. Like, heard someone who really makes peace, really calms peace down. He makes everything sail smoothly. Because I get upset, but then he calms me down. He was just always there for me. So it's just really heartbreaking to see like how this happened.
Oh my goodness. You guys are how old?
17.
17?
Yeah, they'll be 18 in July.
I saw a lot of articles say you guys were 16. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they're 17.
Yes, ma'am.
Junior?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Austin wanted to play football.
He would have played college football.
He would have.
For sure. He definitely used his mindset, his skill level, his IQ of the game was probably the best I've seen in the Frisco area.
Yeah.
As a linebacker, he was a stud, and I always try to fill those shoes with him and play with him. And I had a blast my whole life playing sports with him my whole life. It was just me and him always get against people. And our last year together was this year, so it's just really heartbreaking not to see him next year on the field.
I'm so sorry, my love. Oh my goodness. I saw that he won like linebacker of the year.
For the Frisco Memorial, he was
Second team all district, which he should have been first.
Yeah.
But it's just everyone knows around this area the impacts of what he does for football and what he does for families and friends. Like, he's just a great guy overall to be around, and
hard worker.
Extremely. It's just really hard. It's just really hard to see someone go like that just for like recklessness.
My focus of my story is, of course, on Austin. That is what's most important. But what would you say about the suspect and what's next?
I don't know anything about him. We have nothing to say.
I've never met this kid until right then. It really was under 30 seconds, this altercation. I've never met this kid in my entire life. And it's just...
And to be honest with you, we don't want to give him any recognition or any care, because that's not, we have no desire to have anything to do with that man. So.
If Austin can hear you, what would you say to him?
I'd say, that's really hard, but I'd say a lot of things, because I saw him before his last moments, and it was just...
How much we loved him. He knew that.
He knew how much I loved him, how
Yeah.
much I do for him. Anything, I do anything for him.
Yeah.
No matter what. He's called me, I think anything that he needs, I'll do it for him. He's just a great guy, so when you have a great guy, you want people to be around you, they're going to be around you no matter what. Like, he's a great leader. That's why I always want to tell him, like, I always wanted to be like him in that sense. It's like how he just communicates and has great ways with people all the time. And I always looked up to him for like that. He wasn't a big brother in a sense. He was the same age, but he was a big brother to me.
We just want to make sure that everybody knows how much that Austin is going to be still in our lives, as far as in our memories and our hearts forever. You know, it's going to be really hard. This is going to be really hard.
I can see how much you guys love and adore him.
Yeah, I'm really trying not to cry, but it's a...
Mr. Baby.
Yeah. He was my big baby. He was 225 pounds. Both of them big boys, and I loved movie time with them. They would ask me if we'd watch a movie and sit on the couch, and he'd put his head on my lap, and I'd scratch his back, and he was just, I don't know, he'd tell me things. He was so personable with me, and you know, I knew stuff that most teenagers wouldn't tell their moms, that just things that because we were close, you know, and now it's going to be us wrangling the future together.
I know you were with him till the end, right? Did you hold him the whole time?
I didn't. They yanked me off him.
Yeah, they had to leave. He had to be removed when they did CPR. And then he wasn't able to be in the ambulance with him on the way to the hospital.
So it was just like hard throbbing the whole time, the whole ride on the hospital.
How did you get to the hospital?
My dad came. I called my mom. My mom didn't know. She didn't answer. She was at work, and then she answered my phone. And I told her what happened. She came in right away, and then we drove to the hospital. We're trying to figure everything out.
Yeah, it was hard. That was tough, because I beat the ambulance there. I don't even know how that's possible, but I did, because I came in from Grapevine.
I thought the same thing about the interviewer. Chuck said in the chat that the interviewer is doing a great job. When I was thinking the exact same thing when you said that, just the way she was just giving the questions and then stepping back and letting them answer. And she wasn't trying to get that gotcha. Like there was that moment that they asked about the I guess suspect in this case. I don't even know if it's a suspect because he admitted to it, but you know. She was a good interviewer though, I agree. Yeah, and this kid had a bright future ahead of him. He was a good student. He was getting scouted by Division I schools for football. The whole reason he ran track was to improve his football game. So you know, definitely a scholarship in his future, was in his future.
The Frisco Memorial High School community gathered tonight in grief after the stabbing death of a teenager at a track meet.
Another teenager, a student at Frisco Centennial, is now charged with the murder. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf's twin brother was at the track with him. His family says he died in his brother's arms. Fox 4's Amelia Jones spoke with the teen's victim's father.
All right. The audience speaks. I listen. This is so sad. We need a cookie break. I agree. I cried a little bit there in that interview. So we do need a cookie break. Let's see if the dogs are up for it. I think they probably will be. Do you guys want a cookie? Look at Luke popped up from behind the pillow when I said that. Luke wants a cookie. Xena barely opened her eyes, but you know, that's Xena, right? Luke, can you catch the I don't know if Luke can catch or not. We're gonna find out right now. Can you catch this? Let's see. No, it might have been my fault. Xena, I know you can catch. You can catch this. Xena got it. I know Ava can catch. And come here. You stand up. Stand. I don't want to have to move the camera. I guess I have to. She didn't want to stand up. If you couldn't tell, Luke back there. Yeah, I talked about you. And Leia here on the floor. Their parents are big Star Wars fans. I don't know if you noticed. Big Star Wars fans. Whew, thank you for the cookie break. I appreciate it. We needed a little bit of break.
Father and is live in Frisco tonight. Amelia.
Steve, Heather, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf had a bright future ahead of him. He was a leader on the football field and a scholar in the classroom. His dad told me he's holding on to memories and leaning deep on his faith as he tries to wrap his mind around this senseless tragedy.
He was going to turn out to be a great individual and impact this world with positivity.
17-year-old Austin Metcalf was
just want to point out this dad's shirt. It says God over all things. That's what's going to get this family through this, by the way. That right there is what's going to get this family through.
He was going to turn out to be a great individual and impact this world with positivity.
17-year-old Austin Metcalf was voted MVP of the Frisco Memorial High School varsity football team. The linebacker held a near-perfect GPA and was in the National Honor Society.
He was on the right track. He was doing everything right. I was so proud.
Jeff Metcalf never imagined that his son's future would be cut short.
I'm still in shock.
Wednesday morning, Austin Metcalf was at a District 11 5A track meet at Kirkendall Stadium. Around 10 a.m., Frisco police say 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony stabbed Metcalf in the chest after some sort of fight. Jeff Metcalf says it was Austin's twin brother, Hunter Metcalf, who tried to save him.
And his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms.
It's unclear how Anthony got the knife into the meat or what exactly led up to the fight. Anthony is now facing first-degree murder charges, and Jeff Metcalf
It was the best weekend ever.
Is only left with memories.
I was able to watch and be blessed so much. But having both my sons are amazing.
When Jeff Metcalf was diagnosed with cancer 9 years ago, his boys were his strength. Now cancer-free, it's his faith that's keeping him strong.
And when I kissed his forehead today, as his body was cold, I ran my fingers through his hair. I told him it's not goodbye. It's see you later. I'll join you at some point too, son. You just beat me to this place.
Wednesday night, the family's church opened its doors for the community to gather for a prayer vigil to honor a young man whose life touched so many.
But I know he's with the Lord. And I take comfort and peace in that.
In our conversation, Jeff mentioned that he hopes his son's death brings changes to security so no other parent has to go through this. Memorial High School will honor Austin tomorrow during second period, and counselors will be available for any students or staff who need it.
This morning, Frisco Memorial High School honored the student who was stabbed to death at a track meet yesterday. Police say 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed by a Frisco ISD student. Metcalf's father hopes the incident leads to security changes. Alex.
Hi, Clarice. You know, during second period today,
there's some people in the chat right now saying they don't understand the dad, and in the interview, the longer interview of him that we're going to watch here in a little bit, he says that he forgives Carmelo. I understand he's trying to get through this, and he's trying to do it. He doesn't want anger on his heart when he's trying to get through this. So I understand it. I don't know that I would be the same way. I would hope that I wouldn't carry the anger with me if something like this happened to me, but I don't know how I would react to somebody stabbing my sister. I don't have a twin. Obviously, you probably guys would have figured that out by now if I did, but I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers. And if somebody stabbed one of them, I don't know how I would react. I don't think you can know that until you're going through it, right?
Frisco ISD schools
This is
took a
wild. The
moment
whole
to
story is just wild. Welcome, King of all Yetis, over there on Rumble. I'm glad to see some people are showing up on Rumble. Usually my Rumble crowd is after the fact, not while I'm live. So I appreciate you there over there. Tell your friends, watch on Rumble. Rumble only takes 20% instead of 30%. If anybody wants to Rumble rant instead of Super Chat, that'd be good. That'd be fine.
really acknowledge Austin Metcalf's life. I'm told also that district and campus counselors were on hand today to help students and staff process exactly what happened yesterday. Now, police still have not said how that knife got into the stadium. Meanwhile, Metcalf's mother and twin brother spoke on Fox News this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Brutal Bob, for the 5 gifted memberships over here on YouTube. That deserves more than a mini milk bone. 5 gifted memberships. That's amazing. I appreciate that very much. And we have the good treats out right now. These are actually from, these were sent to me to the P.O. box from Chicago Emerald, who was also in the chat earlier. I don't know if she's still here, but this is the the Honest Kitchens goat milk and cookies, peanut butter and honey for the puppers. We will give them those. If you guys want to send stuff to the P.O. box, it's in the channel description over there on YouTube. I appreciate it. And Ava, the terrorist, appreciates it. There you go, Ava. Leia, who found a spot on the bed, appreciates it. Oh, yes. Oh, nope. Oh. The terrorist just stole Leia's. That's what just happened there. There's one for Xena, and I'll have to get another one for Luke. Oh my goodness, we needed a little break. It was getting pretty sad over here. Pretty sad. Luke. There you go. Make sure everybody got theirs. I appreciate that very much, Brutal Bob. And to the 5 people that received gifted memberships, we will be doing a game night probably here in a couple of weeks, and you will be invited to join us for that. There's Chicago Emerald. Yes, you got to keep those puppies happy. They're very happy puppies. And the guest dogs are getting the benefit of the treats y'all send me too. Luke and Leia are just here for a week. Their parents are on a cruise, which I'm super jealous of, by the way.
And on there, trying to make it stop, and I grabbed his head and I looked in his eyes. I just saw his soul leave, and it took my soul too.
I'm so sorry.
Hunter Metcalf described his twin brother Austin's final moments as he lay dying in his brother's arms. On Wednesday, Memorial High School junior Austin Metcalf was stabbed to death while attending a UIL District 11-5A track meet in Frisco, and many questions remain unanswered. Police say 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, who attends Centennial High School, stabbed Metcalf in the chest in the stands. Metcalf's father believes the fight started over a seating dispute.
I pray that, maybe there's changes made as far as security or things like that, and maybe we can learn from this and try to turn a tragedy into something positive to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else's child. I don't want parents to feel like I feel today.
Shortly after the deadly encounter.
So Aimless Gamer says the black guy, who's the stabber in the situation, didn't even seek forgiveness is your issue. He blames his son. But I don't think the dad is forgiving the perpetrator in this for the perpetrator's benefit. He's forgiving the perpetrator for his own heart, for the dad's heart. That's what's happening here. It's not the forgiveness doesn't do anything for the person being forgiven. It's for the person doing the forgiving. Right?
A district spokesperson said that the stadium was immediately secured and students were released and sent back to their home campus on Frisco ISD buses.
Crime doesn't discriminate age, and that unfortunately victimization could happen at any time, at any moment, even when we think that we are safe.
Dr. Alex Del Carmen is a criminologist. Neither the district nor the Frisco Police Department have said what security measures were in place at the stadium on the day of the fatal stabbing. Del Carmen says no doubt the district and police will be looking closely at this.
And what likely will happen is, they're going to look into the suspect's background and find out whether or not there's been signs that perhaps were missed by the family, by the school, and by law enforcement. I think that what really this does invite is a bigger discussion, which is, how much are we willing to give up in terms of our freedoms, in terms of the things that we take for granted for the sake of protection.
And the track meet, of course, was suspended yesterday. Frisco ISD tells us that it has been rescheduled for next week, but did not release further details to us. Meanwhile, I can tell you that Anthony remains in jail on a $1 million bond charged with murder.
A teenager accused of stabbing another student athlete at a track meet told officers as he was being taken into custody that he did it in self-defense.
Austin Metcalf was killed this week at that Frisco track meet. New documents detail what happened before and after 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony allegedly pulled a knife from his backpack and stabbed him. Fox 4's Alex Boyer joining us now live with the latest. Alex.
Hey guys, and in that 7-page arrest warrant affidavit, several witnesses, including Metcalf's twin brother, describe how that deadly encounter went down. The suspect then reportedly admitted to a Frisco police officer who detained him that he had stabbed Metcalf.
My son is gone, and I don't really have words. I've tried to figure out what I was going to say, but he's just going to be so missed.
The pain is still raw for the Metcalf family after 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed on Wednesday morning at a UIL District 11-5A track meet in Frisco.
That dude was extremely smart, always in the box. He just came to him real easy, and just him playing football as well just made him just a great person overall.
Here's what happened according to witnesses and the police report. Metcalf got into an argument with the suspect, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, over a seating dispute in the bleachers. Metcalf told Anthony he needed to move from under the team's tent.
He always was one to step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is because they have personal items there.
Anthony opened his bag and reached inside and said to Metcalf, "Touch me and see what happens." Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony and told him to move.
He knew he wasn't supposed to be there. He was just a tragedy what happened.
That's when Anthony pulled out a black knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest once before running away. When Anthony was taken into custody by a Frisco police officer, Anthony reportedly confessed to the crime, saying, "He put his hands on me. I told him not to," adding that, "I was protecting myself," and then asked the police officer, "Is he going to be okay?" Metcalf died in his brother's arms.
I'm not at that point to forgive and forget, but eventually I will. But I pray for his family. I pray that they understand what we're going through as well.
So somebody in the chat, was it Smith, was saying the AK wasn't a sign. And what he's talking about is Carmelo Anthony's social media posts. Like the image he was putting out on social media before this happened. And I'll show you guys some pictures of that, so you have an idea of what we're talking about. This is what the kid who did the stabbing, this is what he was putting out on social media. Now, there is some discussion because we did just see the twins with their dad on a hunting trip, who there was also guns. But in my opinion, those are two very different images that you're putting out. This image that's on the screen right now compared to the hunting image with dad and two sons who went hog hunting, I think it was, right? It's not the same. It's not the same thing. It's absolutely not the same thing. I don't know what else to say about it. So yeah, this teenager was trying to act tough and get tough guy points, I guess, by posting pictures like this, right?
Whole community has really wrapped their arms around us, and if I could say anything to the nation, I would say to make sure that you just hug your babies tight, because you don't know when the last time you get to do it.
And in a statement released
By the way,
by the Metcalf,
I don't know of any pictures or videos of the victim, Austin Metcalf. I don't know of any pictures of him in similar situation. If there are, I would show them to you right now. I haven't seen any like that, but that's just me. Cellulite yoga pants. Even if he was grabbed, which according to the witnesses, the only witness that I've heard from is the twin brother so far, but according to the witness that we've heard from is that Austin didn't even grab the stabber. He grabbed his bag. He didn't even touch him. So even if he was physically removing him from the tent, you shouldn't have a knife on school grounds to start with, which I don't know if I agree with that or not, but them's the rules. I don't make them. The weapon shouldn't have even been there to start with. And it was. And even if it was a fist fight, like nobody should be losing their life over a seat in the stands, right? It's just crazy to me.
family this afternoon. They say their focus is now on laying Austin to rest. Meanwhile, I can tell you that Anthony remains in the Collin County Jail with a $1 million bond. Back to you.
All right, Alex Boyer in Dallas tonight. Alex, thank you.
Okay, so this comment says, I bet he gets off, though, because he was grabbed. I think it will depend on what the other witnesses that were in that tent say happened, because if their story is the exact same as Austin's brother's story is that the bag was grabbed, I don't think that he will get off. And I think there's a good reason why there's $1 million bond in this case, and he's charged with actual first-degree murder and not some sort of manslaughter or second degree or something like that. I think it's because just the facts of the case that they know so far, right?
Okay. Well, Jeff, take me through, as far as you know, the events of this morning. What happened? How did you get the call? How did you figure out what happened to your son?
Well, it started with a call from his football coach, who was not at the track meet, and said, I think Austin has been stabbed. And I said, where at? And he said, Crimeland Stadium. I said, I'm on my way.
Before we get into this interview, we do have to take care of the dogs. Thank you very much for the $2 super chat, Wixom. Are we doing the doggy treats thing? Of course we are. We have all of the doggies here today. We have 4 of them today. So we are definitely doing that. They're here for it too. We have Ava the terrorist. We have Xena, who you're all here to see. We know you're not here to see me. You're here to see Xena. Hi, Xena. They're here for you. Oh, and she missed, and the terrorist got it. And back there, we have Luke. Here, Luke. Can you catch? I missed. That was my bad. Luke. There we go. And we've got this one here, too. There we go. I appreciate that very much. Oh, I didn't make them big. I should do it again. I'm sorry. That was my bad. Here. We'll do that whole thing over again. There's this one. There's Xena. Oh, see, Ava got it again. And then Luke's back there in the back. Luke and Leia. Here you go, Leia. I appreciate it very much. Sorry, I did that wrong the first time.
So I drove up there, went through a load of police officers, and was able to see my son on the gurney with a huge hole and blood all over him, and they were pumping him. He wasn't breathing, and his eyes were rolled back in his head. So I had to find his brother. They're twins, and so I found Hunter and tried to get him under control as best we could. And then I loaded him up in my car, and we drove to the hospital as quickly as possible. And we waited. And when the doctors came in and said that he didn't make it, it was tough. My son took it extremely hard. I'm still in shock, to be honest. I mean, I'm numb. So it really hasn't hit me. And I don't believe any parent should ever have to bury their child. And I pray that, maybe there's changes made as far as security or things like that, and maybe we can learn from this and try to turn a tragedy into something positive to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else's child. I don't want parents to feel like I feel today. So, I've already forgiven the person who stabbed him. God's going to take care of everything. God's taking care of my son. I kissed him. When I kissed him goodbye, for the last
Okay, so
time.
that line right there, I think, is the part that like Aimless Gamer in the chat and some other people on Twitter and stuff have a problem with, is this dad saying, "I've already forgiven him." But the very next sentence out of his mouth is that God's going to take care of it. So it's not what he's saying there is it's not for him to judge, that he will be judged by God, and he has faith that God will take care of it for him. Denali Mike asked, he missed it. Was it a fight? It wasn't. It doesn't seem like it was a fight. It seems like Austin asked Carmelo to leave the tent that was assigned to his school. Carmelo did not go to that school, and Carmelo had a problem with being asked to leave the tent and stabbed Austin. That's what it seems like right now. Now, this will be an ongoing investigation and case, and I guess we'll probably find out more details. It will depend on what court it's in, what judge it is, if it'll be a case that we can follow as closely as, like we were talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse case earlier, how that all turned political, and this one might too. So it'll depend on if cameras are allowed in the courtroom. They may not be, just because I think Carmelo was also under 18. Actually, I don't know. Does anybody know? Chat, let me know. Was Carmelo 17 or 18? I know the boys, the twins, were 17. So, I mean, possibly 18. Might be an adult. Not sure. Probably charged as an adult, I would assume.
I told him it's not goodbye. It's see you later. So, I just have to trust him, God, and my faith to pull us through. I don't understand his plan. We're all subject to trial and tribulations. God didn't say life was going to be fair or wasn't going to be hard, but he said he'll always be beside you and never leave your side. So we're going to lean deep into our faith. There's a vigil tonight at our church at 7 o'clock. I will be attending also. The outpouring of students and coaches and friends and family that showed up at the hospital immediately. It was it was just shows the way my son touched people's lives. He was voted team MVP of the football team this year. He carried a 4.0. He was National Honor Society. He's ranked in the top 50 of the state in his position. He's having D1 colleges contact him. He had a great life ahead of him. And to be taken away, it's such a tragedy. I mean, I can't even tell you how I feel because I don't know how I feel. I feel numb at the moment. Yeah. I just hope that this doesn't happen to any other parent and their child. But I do hope for justice. I do hope for justice because this is unacceptable.
I'm glad we have an actual, I've never claimed to be a journalist, but Johnny Walker Dredd is definitely a journalist, and I'm glad we have him in the chat today. He says, in Texas, defendants aged 17 and older are automatically considered adults in the criminal justice system. Good to know. So he's an adult. I believe Wisconsin is the same way. I covered a that case where those kids stole a bunch of cars from a dealership and there was a high-speed chase. We covered that on Crimeland. And I remember finding out that Wisconsin was also the same way. Where 17, you are an adult. So there's no going to juvenile when you're 17 in Wisconsin either.
And the fact that, someone was immediately taken into custody, they know who did this, they are charging him with murder. I mean, how does that make you feel that police immediately got this person?
First of all, I feel sorry for that individual because he's now made a mistake that's going to cost him the rest of his life. The hard part that cost me is
we're going to take a break and then we're going to get to I'm going to rewind it a little bit and we'll get to what he's talking about. Did the pups get their package Friday? I haven't checked the P.O. box, so not sure, Lisa B. I will, now that I know that something's in the P.O. box, I will make it a point to go over there and check. I appreciate any love you guys send to the puppies for sure. Like I said, you guys are not here to see me, you're here to see them. All right, Ava, you're looming right now. There you go. Zena's back there. There's Zena. Luke. I'm handing it to Luke because I don't trust Ava. And there you go, Leia. Could you lay down? Plots. Thank you. Look at how cute they are. All right, let's get back to this dad. I'm going to rewind it a couple of seconds because he's talking about, we'll hear it.
This doesn't happen to any other parent and their child, but I do hope for justice. I do hope for justice because this is unacceptable.
And the fact that, someone was immediately taken into custody, they know who did this, they are charging him with murder. I mean, how does that make you feel that police immediately got this person?
First of all, I feel sorry for that individual because he's now made a mistake that's going to cost him the rest of his life. The hard part that cost me is I lost my son, and his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms. I need a break.
So, Dad was saying that he feels bad for the suspect in this case as well. And there's a lot of people that I've seen on my social media that don't understand that either. I think that this dad just has a lot of compassion. He knows that this kid ruined his life just now. And even if he's gotten into a little bit of trouble here and there before, it's nothing like this. This is a life-changing event that happened on all sides, for the victim, for the suspect, for everybody involved. This changes from that point, from that moment of lack of impulse control on that kid's part. His life changed forever. That's what the dad is saying. Thank you so much, Wixom. We will make them all fat. That one almost took off my fingers. All right, Zena, can you catch this without Ava stealing it midair? Let's see. Yes, she can. Yes, she can. This one with the boxers are so funny looking to me. Any kind of dogs with those droopy faces like that are just they got those faces that are just so ugly they kind of end up being cute. Look at that face. Look at it. I'm gonna throw one. Okay. We can't see Luke. I'm gonna throw it back there. I can see Luke. Luke got it. I appreciate it, Wixom. And Kittle saying Texas is a death penalty state, but it does not meet the criteria. So this will not be a death penalty case. This will be a case that where I assume if I had to guess, he'd get probably between 20 and 40 years, and the taxpayers in Texas will be paying for this kid to live for the next 20 to 40 years.
So concerned about my son. They were twins, identical. They had each other's back. They had a bond.
Yeah, that only twins know.
Yeah. He's telling me, Dad, I can't make it. I can't make it without him. I said, we're going to have to, bro. We're going to have to. He would want us to be strong.
Can you tell me a little bit more about Austin, about, his personality?
Austin was a leader. Austin, he led the football team. He was voted team MVP by his players and coaches.
What was his position?
He played linebacker. Him and his brother both play linebacker. He played inside. His brother plays outside. We were so fortunate this past weekend that me, Hunter, and Austin, we grew up hunting together, and we had matter of fact, the ranch we own, the lease was not renewed, so we could never hunt there again. And we went there for the last weekend. And he said, Dad, I've never shot a pig before. I want to get a pig this weekend. I said, okay. Lord and behold, it's a heck of a story, but he shot his first pig this weekend. And we all talked, me, him, and Hunter both, we all talked about these are memories that you take forever. After I'm gone, you can tell your kids about, well, your grandfather and I, we were hunting and we stalked and it took 2 hours, but I got my first pig, and he was so excited. And I'm so fortunate to be able to spend that weekend, not knowing it was the last weekend I'll ever spend with him.
And he also was on the track and field team?
Also was, football was his pride and joy. Yeah. He was working on track to increase his speed. Matter of fact, he's already dropped this 40 times. He was telling me about how he's dropped it. He's going to drop it some more. And he was an amazing, dedicated athlete. And by the outpouring of his friends and family that showed up immediately at the hospital, goes to show how he impacted other people's lives.
And what did that mean to you to know that your son did that?
Well, for me, I was diagnosed with cancer 9 years ago, and I was not supposed to live. And God blessed me because he knew I needed to be a father for these two boys. My two boys is what my life lived. I lived my life for my children. That was my why to keep fighting, and I'm cancer free. So God had a plan for me. So I was able to watch and be blessed so much. But having both my sons are amazing. My other son is just crushed. And I feel for him now, and he'll never be the same. None of us will. Grief, we all go through it, but the thing about grief is you don't get over it. You just learn to live with it. So, I don't have a choice other than to carry on. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure Austin's never forgotten. I'm sure he won't be. He's touched a lot of people's lives. He was a great individual, a leader, an athlete.
That is a very good question, Denali Mike. I think I know the answer to it, but I don't want to speculate. If y'all want to speculate in the chat of why this was not covered on the national news, feel free to do so.
Very smart, 4.0. I couldn't ask for a better son. Two of them. I couldn't ask. They were my whole life. And for it to be taken away so senselessly when this guy was just sitting in the wrong spot and they asked him to move. And he winds up stabbing my son in the heart and killing him. It's unfortunate, but he's gonna have to answer to those consequences. And I hope justice is served.
Yeah, is that, you know, and I know Hunter probably, everything happened so quickly. I mean, is that what he kind of told you what happened? That, I mean, did you know Austin to have any enemies? Did Austin know this person?
No, they have no contact with this person ever before. I can tell you what happened. I know firsthand. I wasn't there, but I talked to my son.
Yeah, what did
everything, I know exactly how it all transpired. It was a multi-Frisco High School track meet. Yep. Many high schools were there. It started to rain, and they have their own little tent for memorial, and they were sitting there. And someone was behind them mouthing off, and he turned around and said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm Mello." He said, "Well, you don't belong here. You don't go to memorial." He had a Centennial tracksuit on. And he said, "You need to leave. This ain't your spot." And some words were discussed. I'm not going to say on camera he asked him to leave and basically said, "Make me." And then he wound up stabbing him in the heart and killing him. All over someone sitting in the wrong spot at a track meet. Now, I don't blame his parents. I don't blame him. But they all will suffer too.
I kind of blame his parents a little bit. Like, to be honest, I kind of blame him and his parents a little bit. Mostly him, but also his parents.
Feel for their family.
Well, his mom.
Because now their son will probably wind up in prison and learn that he killed someone. And he devastated and took my son that I can never get back. It's unfortunate for everyone involved. And I just hope it doesn't happen to anyone else. This world, you know, there need to be changes, and it starts at home. So I don't know. I'm not judging. I'm just happen to say that
I'm judging. This man is a better man than me. This is actually happening to him, and he's not judging. He's offering forgiveness. Way better person than I am. This man is a way better person than I am. I am judging a lot. I'm judging way too much, probably.
Try to be kind in this world. And if you can't be kind, find someone who is.
Oh my gosh, Jeff. I mean, is there anything else that you want people to know about Austin? You want people to know how he'll be remembered? Is there anything else that you haven't shared?
I mean, it's hard right now. My thoughts are all over the place, to be honest. I mean, there's so many great things about him. I could probably sit here for 3 hours and go on and on and on. But he was a great friend. He was a leader. He was well respected in school by his teammates, by his coaches, by his friends. His girlfriend came up to me and said, "You know what? He talks about you a lot, and he loved you, and he treated me with great respect." And he goes, "You taught him that, you know." He was going to turn out to be a great individual and impact this world with positivity. So he was on the right track. He was doing everything right. I was so proud to have 2 sons, not just him, but 2 sons that do the exact same thing. My other son, Hunter's like, "Dad, I can't go on because Austin always had my back." I said, "I know." And when I kissed his forehead today, as his body was cold, I ran my fingers through his hair. I told him, "It's not goodbye. It's see you later. I'll join you at some point too, son. You just beat me to this place. So you keep an eye on me up there. Put in a good word for me. And we'll meet again."
Your faith is keeping you strong right now.
Yep. It's the only thing that's keeping me together. Otherwise, I'd be in a rubber room right now. So all I can do is pray. I don't understand it, but I have to live through it, and I have to still be here for my other son. So my journey's not done. It just took a really bad detour today that I'll probably never get over. I'll live with it the rest of my life. And I sure as hell don't want any other parent to feel the way that I feel today. Because when I got the call, I was scared, but I was thinking, hoping like he's stabbed in the stomach, it's not gonna be that big a deal, surgery, as long as he's okay. When I saw him, I knew it wasn't good. And then when his brother told me, Dad, I tried to hold the wound to the blood, but there was too much. And he died in my arms. It's tragic. I don't know what else to really say.
How can the community best help you right now? Help you and your family right now? Is it thoughts and prayers? Is there a GoFundMe? How can they help you?
I hadn't even thought about that. That's a good idea. GoFundMe. I'll probably have someone set that up, and prayers. I believe I'm heavy in faith, and we just pray that this doesn't happen again to someone else. Unfortunately, I get to be the example. But, we have to try to turn negatives into positives. And he was a great kid, and he impacted a lot of lives. I'll never forget him, and neither will a lot of other people. So, community-wise, talk to your kids, teach your kids. It all starts at home. I know this world has changed. I'm old school, and it's a different world. It's unfortunate, but we all have to evolve. And if we all don't come together, black, white, yellow, brown, I don't care. It's all about human beings. We gotta care about each other. We gotta be kind to each other. You need to show compassion, show empathy, not anger, not rage. Teach your kids the right from wrong. And pray to God this doesn't happen to yours.
No. Do you have any questions for Jeff? No. Jeff, anything else you'd like to share?
No, I just pray for my family right now in this time. It's a very tough time. I'm not sure how we will get through it, but I know God will get us through it. And I'll have a hole that I will carry with me the rest of my life, unfortunately.
Oh,
a heartbreaking interview tonight with the mother and twin brother.
Okay, we already saw that interview, so okay, so the father spoke about maybe there being a change, and apparently that already happened. There's new safety plans in place for the stadium where this happened.
Developments in Collin County. Frisco ISD is making big changes ahead of a rescheduled track meet. The district says it's rolling out new safety measures following a deadly stabbing last week that took the life of a Memorial High School student. This happened Wednesday at a UIL track meet in Frisco. Police say 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf. Metcalf died at the hospital. Anthony is now charged with murder, but says he acted in self-defense. Now, the district has made changes in response. Athletes will now be required to ride to the track meet in school-provided transportation. They're also increasing security, and everyone, including the athletes, will have to go through metal detectors. The rescheduled meet is set for tomorrow at Little Elm High School. And also tomorrow, attorneys for Carmelo Anthony say they will release new details about this case. Anthony is still being held in the Collin County Jail on a $1 million bond. In a statement on Facebook, Anthony's attorney said, quote, "The real truth will come out."
So,
the 17-year-old accused of...
Sorry, I'm set on autoplay right now. I'm glad to see that they're making changes, and they're trying to make sure that this doesn't happen again, although I doubt it would happen again at the rescheduled track meet. I don't know how any of those athletes are going to be able to compete. I know I wouldn't. Like, if I was at a track meet competing, even if I didn't go to either one of those schools, I think there were 6 schools they said involved. Even if I was at one of those other schools, I don't know how I'd be able to compete after being at the rescheduled meet where somebody was stabbed to death by another team. I just don't think I don't think I'd be at my peak performance, is what I'm saying. So there was a lot of misinformation going around social media. So Let me read this article to you guys. Officials warn against misinformation being posted surrounding killing of Texas teen Austin Metcalf. Officials in Frisco are warning against misinformation on oh great. And my screen went blank. How can I read? I'm not a robot. What happened? Uh-oh. Let me see if I can. Welp. Let's see if I can get this fixed. Why? I'm not a robot. I promise I'm not. The article is gone. It's gone? Let me see if I can find it. It's just gone. Well, I wish I had something else to play for you guys. Well, this was, I wanted to read that article. Misinformation. All right, well, I have another version of it, I guess. Let's see. That was weird. That was very weird that I was like one sentence in and it just went away. Let's see what this is.
A teenager accused of stabbing another student athlete at a track meet told officers as he was being
we already
taken into
watched that
custody.
one. Okay. Frisco police are urging people to be on the lookout for misinformation surrounding a deadly stabbing at the UIL District 11-5A track meet in Frisco earlier this week. Frisco Memorial student Austin Metcalf, age 17, was stabbed and killed at the track meet. 17-year-old Frisco Centennial student Carmelo Anthony has been charged in the murder. The case captured national attention, and police say fake statements and falsified documents about the incident have surfaced on social media. And I did see some of these tweets, by the way, that were allegedly from that other article had the tweets in it. I don't know if this one does. I couldn't find that original one that disappeared from my screen for some reason. But it was allegedly from like the police chief of Frisco, but you could tell by the typos and the language being used that it obviously did not come from a authority figure in the case. The way it was framed was very one-sided towards the alleged killer in this case. It was just very obviously fake. If you had any little bit of, like, if you just squinted a little bit, you could tell right away. You see what I'm saying? And people were spreading it as if it was like just facts. It was crazy going around the last couple of days. Let's see what they're saying. Frisco police have released multiple statements trying to combat the misinformation in this case. Yesterday evening, a fictitious account was created using my name, perpetuating misinformation, wrote Frisco Police Chief David Shilson. Man, his name is difficult to say. Shilson says they are investigating who made the account. The chief says it is a criminal offense and third-degree felony, apparently, to identify yourself as a police chief and spread misinformation. Yeah, that seems like it should be illegal. On Friday night, the Frisco Police Department also addressed an image on social media claiming to be a report from the Collin County Medical Examiner's Office. At this time, the report has not been released. Therefore, any information currently found online is false, the department wrote in the statement. Frisco police say only official releases from verified accounts should be trusted. They are urging people not to spread misinformation, unconfirmed information. Based on my 23 years of serving in Frisco, I'm confident in this city's ability to respond to this tragedy with compassion and empathy. Together, we must all demonstrate mutual respect for one another. The Metcalf family has made it clear through their statements during this very difficult week that they will lean on their faith to guide them. I encourage our community to do the same, wrote Shilson. Thank you very much for the $2 super chat. So yeah, it's kind of crazy that people are just making fake accounts and basically poisoning the jury, because we know that this is going to be a criminal case, obviously, right? So they're already starting to try to poison the jury pool in this case, which is just bonkers to me. All right, we have pups to feed. Wixom, thank you very much for the $2 super chat over there on YouTube. Ava appreciates it. Xena will definitely wake up for it. Leia and Luke over there probably will as well. There's one for Luke. Leia? Leia doesn't want it. Nope, she does not give it. She does not care one bit. Cheshire Cat has been a member for 6 months. Has it been 6 months already? Double down on Wixom super chat. It has been this long. It's crazy. It's been so long. All right. Let's see. There's one for Leia. There's one for Luke. Xena caught that. Was a good throw on my part and a good catch on her part. All right. Let's see if Ava can do the same. Yes, it was a bad throw, but Ava still got it. She got it. Thank you so much for renewing your membership. I appreciate that. And the pups obviously appreciate it as well. Let's see.
This morning, Frisco Memorial High School honored the student who was stabbed to death at a track meet yesterday. Police say 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed by a Frisco ISD student. Metcalf's father hopes the incident leads to security changes. Alex.
Hi, Clarice. You know, during second period today, all Frisco
I think we saw that one already. That was just embedded in the article, so I wanted to see it if we haven't. So that's all I have for you today, except for one more super chat from Cheshire Cat. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Now make it that a triple down for the puppers. Yes, we have so many puppers here today. And Luke and Leia will still be here next Sunday. And obviously Wednesday night with KFAR. They'll be here for that. And possible Tuesday night. I haven't talked to KFAR about that yet. The Tuesday night ones are not set in stone. It's just if neither of it, it's if we have a lot of body cams, which we do right now, by the way, but also if both of us have nothing else going on. So Wednesday is like on our schedule. We do that on Wednesday nights. So Tuesday is always just an extra show. If it's up to me, I don't know. KFAR was in the chat earlier, but if it's up to me, we can do Tuesday night, but I don't know what he's up to Tuesday. So I don't want to say it, for sure. Xena? Luke and Leia. Leia does not. Apparently, Ava's getting Leia's because Leia does not care about the milk bone. She is not a food motivated dog like my fat dogs over here. Look at how ominous Ava looks when she's standing up like that. Ooh. Anyway, so like I was saying, the next time you will see me is probably Tuesday night, but definitely Wednesday night. And again, next Sunday at 7:30 Eastern. What did you guys think of this? I did poll you in the chat, and 94% of you think that this, the question was, do you think this was self-defense? 94% of you said no. 6% of you said yes. So, there's some question there. I don't I'm not unsure yet because I've only heard one person's one witness statement from the brother who was there, who said it wasn't, he grabbed the bag and not the person. He grabbed Carmelo's bag, not Carmelo. So if that's the case, then this was definitely not self-defense, right? Here's my thing. Even if he grabbed Carmelo, doesn't self-defense have to be like an equal force? That's a good question. Somebody asked, where are we going next? I didn't even check to see who was live. I'm so bad at my job. Let me see who's live. Does anybody know who's live right now? And I'll direct people. Matt Christensen is live, but I don't know any of his guests on there tonight. Is like Kitchen Court Cams or anybody live right now? Let's see. I don't know who's live right now. You guys tell me, where do you want me to send you? Are there any channels that are live that I don't know about that I can send you? Wixom says that Kfar and I should do booze and body cams twice a week. We'll see. We're going to try to do that, but we both have lives too. I have a full-time job. He's got 5 kids. Okay, so Kitchen Court Cams is not live right now. You guys can go wherever you want, I guess, because I don't know who else is live right now. So sorry, I've been trying to, since they put that feature in, try to send you guys somewhere, but I don't know who's live right now. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. I know we only covered 2 stories today, but I think they were both very important stories to cover. The one out of Walton County, Florida, with that deputy getting killed. That's just tragic. And this also a tragic case. Just so you know, my during the week streams are way more lighthearted than this. If you're new here, that's not always this. It's not always like this. We laugh at criminals on Tuesday or on Wednesdays and sometimes on Tuesdays. So we find body cam videos of people getting arrested for drunk driving, acting crazy, and we make fun of them. And that's what we do around here. Sundays are a little different. I appreciate you guys for being here. If you are new here, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Definitely hit the like button. If you're still here, you obviously liked something about it. And I will see you guys probably Tuesday, but most definitely on Wednesday. Bye, guys.
First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man, Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. Won't you solo go show off your photos, throw out your Twinkies, throw up your ho-hos, tuck in them pinkies, them shits a no-no. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. Brought to my attention by the man with the mojo. My 8 subscriber, I'm a fagoso. Jump in them Sinkies and dump them mimosos. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto.